In a gold international, where you say, hey.
So who were your artists growing up as a youth that is that? Yeah man, that's an inspiration.
I mean, we all listen to Bob Marley, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, but I find, for some reason, I find myself listening to Lucky Dube. You know, a lot of Lucky Dube.
Yeah.
And my mother's a big Lucky Dube fan, so I don't know. It's just, you know, some people think Lucky Dube, yeah, you know, but I did listen to Bob as well because it was the collection of Lucky Dube, Touch, Bob,
Yeah.
some Nat King Cole as well, because, you know what I mean, my mother sing. So her knowledge was, you know, stemmed on from her grandfather. She's a multi-instrumentalist, so she had a lot of different music, you know.
So it's almost, you could say, in the blood. But
yeah.
You know what, even Lucky, a few artists now, you're probably maybe even the third artist now that I said Lucky, that as an artist that inspired them. I think even Randy mentioned him as well.
Yeah.
And we also interviewed his daughter not too long ago in Cooley, and she's doing her thing over there in South Africa, continuing the legacy.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
It's amazing that the works, you know, have inspired so many different ones.
Yeah.
Now then you've moved to the UK now, and you know there's grime, there's garage, there's jungle, dubstep. A lot of these genres come and they're gone tomorrow. Some of them are still here today. But did any of the music when you came here influence you?
I was being influenced already because being in Jamaica, you get most of the stuff from America anyway.
Yeah.
So I was very heavy. I grew up on the West Virginia song, which is the Timberland and the Neptunes. This is when there was NERD.
Yeah.
Before, you know, like, you know, so I was heavily into an R&B. Before I came here, I was listening to a lot of 112 and Boys to Men and stuff like that. So that when I came here, it was more here as well, you know. So grime was a bit new to me, you know what I mean, because I didn't really get it, to be honest.
Yeah.
You know, because it was I did get it, but it was because I couldn't understand the accent as well, you know. But it was cool, so, you know, sort of. But I did adapt. I did have to understand it, and when I understood it, then, you know, everything made sense, you know what I mean. So yeah, to a certain extent, it did, the music, grime music.
So what about now? You understand the music a bit more?
Yeah, with my music.
Yeah, but I mean grime. Now you've been in London a bit.
Oh, grime.
Longer,
Yeah. Grime.
The ear must be used to the different accents.
I do them. I could do stuff like that. You know,
so
I'm a producer as well.
Yeah.
So.
Well, talking of the production side, I don't know if a lot of people know. If the people have done their research into Clay, then they will know that you made an impact here still as a producer behind the scenes, even writing and composing for the likes of Sean Paul, Chipmunk, who is grime, Starboy Nathan. So could you tell us a bit about that history? What tracks did you compose for these artists?
Maybe start with Sean Paul first. I guess I was just doing that with a reggae track on his Grammy nominated album.
Wow.
So, and then it wasn't even for Sean Paul. It was a song, a track. You know, it was just a track I made, and I was doing some work at the time with back and forth my brothers in Jamaica and Ariwa, and we were just doing like a giant thing, and it just ended up, you know, Sean heard it and like, yo, really like the record, did the record, and that thing said, yo, album, you know. So that was that. The grime and the Nathan, we used to do copywriting and stuff, and I was in the Matrix complex. We used to have a studio there, and you know, when you're in the sector, you know everybody kind of thing. And we did this writing session, track called Hangover, and then Rich was on.
Got Rich, yeah.
You know what I mean? So that, and then with Chip now on the transition album, I did a track called Pray For Me.
Same.
So I was in the it's funny enough, I was in the studio late one night, and I wasn't gonna go to this iTunes thing. They had this iTunes performance thing that he was at.
Same.
And I went down there and I was looking at the drummer, and I was like, yo, the drummer is wicked. So the girl that I went with, she said, yo, I know the drummer still. And funny enough, he said to me, yo, another girl I was writing with had mentioned me to him.
Same.
So we were just talking when he come down to the studio, and we just, you know, we said, let's do a track, you know. It wasn't even for anybody or a Chip, let's work. And it ended up, you know, being Pray For Me, you know, so yeah.
Heartical TV, Bang Radio. I'm here backstage at man like Randy Valentine EP launch with man like Randy and Cali P. Yes, in the pipeline for Cali P right now.
You know, just keep doing music really and truly, you know, just keep doing music. Like, right now we just released a total different thing to Healing Up the Nation, which is a single I did with Popcorn. That's a song called Upside Down with Vince Lee, that's DJ. And that's like more like a club type of thing. Then we did really and truly right now we're working on an album as well. You know, yeah, definitely have an album that I recorded in Jamaica with Bobby Digital for a good while. We're just waiting for that to drop really and truly. I also work with people in England like Sean Lee, you know, we do some good productions with Don Chandler, and you have Curtis Lynch, from long time, you know. So also there is some things in the building, you know.
Mikee Majestic, Inner Gold TV, representing Bang Radio and Inner Gold International. And you know what, people, I'm here with a legend, you know. I'm here with a man that when I was a youth man myself, I used to listen to Choice FM back in the day. And there was one man I used to listen to, this man like Commander B. Greetings, King.
Yes, respect, man. Bless up.
You said that you're a legend. But could you tell some of our younger listeners and the newer generation maybe a few things that makes you a legend?
Well, I've been about for a long time, 15. I've sort of done songs with people like Tippa Irie, you would know of him. The first recording I ever done was with Tippa Irie, Peter Honeygirl, on my record label. That was Ragamuffin Girl, that was my recording, which was done in my flat. From there I've been on to do stuff with Glamour Kid. We had a big hit with Machina, which we used to do with Shoulder Hammer. So we done that too. From there we went on to do stuff with Lethal Business, Pow. Which was a big, massive success. Probably one of the biggest grime tunes of that era. Wiley, What You Call It, and you know, a few bits and pieces with Dizzy done as well. So Solitude. So Miss Dynamite, General Levy with Incredible is going to be working on tonight. I was the first to sort of showcase his song on Choice. So that's why I would say, like, I'm a legend, because I've worked with all of the stars, and even still working with a lot of new stars and old stars, and still doing more or less what I've done back in the day, but it's just I'm doing more reggae now.
Mikee Majestic, Inner Gold TV, Inner Gold Show, Bang Radio. And you know what, people, I just met one legend from my childhood, Now this is the second one for the evening. I've got another legend, see another legend in the back, calling the next man a legend, so he has to be.
And he's a bloke as well, so make it even worse. You know, we're family, like we don't tell people.
So yes, I'm with man like Natty B. Yes, King, well gone, you good?
I'm here, Bliss, I'm here. Just taking in the advice of Randy Valentine, talented you. You know what I mean? We've been watching him for a little while. You know what I mean? So it's one of the first times I've been to one of his launches. I'm always missing them, to be quite honest. So I had to make it here. You know what I mean? The boss said, like, make sure I reach, so I have to be here. You know.
One thing just come to me, like, obviously you come from the days now where you was on the mainstream radio, doing big numbers, doing your thing, and obviously the music industry was in a state where, you know, a lot of people on bigger deals at bigger labels. Do you think, you know, that it's beneficial in these times, having gone through what you've gone through, to go on the independent route in these times?
I know what it is. I think Choice was like one of the last, you know, major stations to, like, you know, toast and reggae. You know what I mean? When Choice was about, even when I was on Kiss, Choice was like, you know what I mean, had most of the, you know, we had like Daddy Ernie doing like 5 reggae shows a week, then we had like Commander B, you know what I mean, doing these late reggae shows, and we had like Gang of Spin. And I think, you know what I mean, we kind of, you know, when Choice kind of went, you know what I mean, we lost all that, you know what I mean. I mean, we've got like the likes of yourselves, like Bang, you know what I mean? But I just think we just need a whole London-wide thing. I just want, you know, for reggae music, I just think that we directly need to have our own thing. You know what I mean? It's funny being, when I was, you know, with part of the global, you know, the fight that I used to, fight, you know, putting a Red Charles show on late at night, you know what I mean, that time at night, you know what I mean, think, you know what I mean, but then, you know, we had the figures, you know, so it just goes to show, you know what I mean, reggae music, everybody's jumping into reggae, Germany, Sweden, France, you know what I mean, you're talking about like the One Love festivals, you know what I mean, we're talking about the reggae festivals like in Rotterdam and, you know what I mean, Europe, and it seems like, you know, the UK is not like left behind, you know what I mean, so it's all like, you know, everybody else is like taking it from us, you know what I mean, because like the UK were like leading. You know what I mean? One thing they did say, you know what I mean, when you go over there, it's like, you know what I mean, a lot of the UK DJs and UK acts don't really go over to Europe. Don't do that. But they will come over here, but we don't go over there. It's true. You know what I mean? Which we don't do. So I'm going to try and change that. You know what I mean? For years, you know, they've been trying to get me to come to some of the little festivals, and it's just like I'm almost doing something else. You know what I mean? But this year, I'm going to try and see if I can reach out there. But going back to your question, you know, reggae right now, the independent, yeah, it's all right because we've got like, with the social network, you've got like you know, where the local shops are not there no more, and then you've got like, you know, the online stuff, you know what I mean? You can do it because all you need is the hits. You know what I mean? Once you know, you've got X amount of hits, you know what I mean? People have been talking to you, they'll listen. You know what I mean? So I'll just say this to everybody, just go out there, do what you're doing, share this, share that, share your numbers, Instagram, Twitter, you know what I mean? Share. You know what I mean? A lot of people don't get that, but you need to do that. You know what I mean? It's true. Yeah, you been doing it?
Yeah. More and more each week.
Sometimes I ain't got none of your stuff.
Mikey Majestic, Inner Gold International, representing Bang Radio. And you know what, people, all night I've been talking about legends, but I'm taking you back to the days where man wasn't even in secondary school yet. Yeah, and I got Jungle Hits, and on Jungle Hits was a tune called Incredible. And it was such an incredible tune, I had to go Woolworths with my little pocket money and buy that tune there on cassette, you know? So I'm with man like General Levy, yes King. Bless you. So first and foremostly, right now it's about Randy Valentine still pushing. So first and foremostly, how was the show this evening?
It was incredible. A good turnout. Black and white. Unite. One love. Good vibes. Positive. Mash up the place. Big up the girl. Africa.
After being in the business for so long and being such a legend, how do you keep it so humble?
Well, you know, you have to stay just keep it normal and just keep concentrating, focus on what's important. Focus on what's important.
Now you're seeing a lot of come and a lot go, but what's your thoughts of the current UK reggae scene right now?
You have to deal with reality, you know, and don't fight against each other, and don't let Babylon set us against each other. But it's coonery and buffoonery, you know. Stick together.
Unity is strength, really and truly.
Stick together.
Bang Radio, Inner Gold International. Today I've met many legends, but this is probably the biggest one of all. I'm with man like Mad Professor.
Yeah,
greetings,
man.
King, you good?
Greetings. In my blood. What's up?
Yeah, so first things first, the main thing is it's Randy Valentine's time right now.
Yeah, man.
So first things first, what were your thoughts on the show this evening?
Well, you know, I've known Randy for a few years, about 10 years now, and this is the first time I've seen him perform live. And my first impression is that at last we have an artist who could bring the business together, because there is a lot of gaps in the business. Too many gaps fucked up the business over the years. Pardon the expression. And you know, we as a people, we look for every little difference to create a gap. And we emphasize on the gaps instead of unity. Like if your skin is a shade darker than mine, it's a gap. And we emphasize it. You're a bit taller than me, it's a gap. You're from a different background from me. If you're from Africa and I'm from the Caribbean, it's a gap. And so we needed someone to heal the gaps. And I think I think Randy's that person.
And it's been quite a journey because we've interviewed both your son and Randy, and Randy himself told us about knowing you as Neil the Landlord and not even knowing that you did reggae music at the time, let alone you knowing that he did reggae music. Could you ever have envisioned that time back then that this would be happening now, where you've got a project from the Ariwa camp with Randy?
No, I had no idea, because even the boys, the way they grew up in this thing, was, we didn't really encourage them too much because, like most black youngsters, they never really understand reggae. But I took them around and let them see certain things, and then one day the penny dropped and they realized, hey, it's our turn next to take it. It's like a rocket. The first section is there, then the second section. Now they're taking it to the next
level.
Yeah, that's it.
So you must be a very proud father, seeing the works of Joe and continuing the legacy of the Ariwa brand, really and truly. Majestic, Inner Gold International, IGI TV, Inner Gold Show, Bang Radio, and guess what, people? I'm with man like Joe Ariwa. First of all, it's progression, Kim, because I remember the first time now, man couldn't even get the name right, but you tutored me in a way now that it's embedded,
If you go back to Africa,
Truly.
Ariwa, you know what I mean?
Yes.
It's all about
word, power, and sound each and every time. Now, right now, first and foremost, I think this interview is special because before I even knew, you were the guy that showed me about this project here, the Still Pushing EP. Now, for those that don't know, we linked up at Amari Banks backstage, and we had a conversation, and it was you that showed me about the link up with Randy Valentine, and it was you that showed me about the Still Pushing EP. So you was there from the formative stage when it was just a conversation till it being something that's now manifested for the people. Now, how does it feel to have been part of that and then seeing it seal up today with this epic performance?
It's amazing. It's been a long journey. I mean, we know Randy from before music. We know Randy because Randy used to be a tenant. Because in the Ariwa headquarters, we got some studios around the back that we rent out in there. And him and his manager, Blemish.
Big up Blemish.
Yeah, big up Blemish. They used to rent a room around the back. And I was always doing this Afrobeat stuff and kind of hip-hoppy kind of stuff. So we never really link up. But then they kind of find the reggae feet, they come around the studio, popped in and was like, oh, you know, Mac Professor's place, you get me? So from there on, started working on the Still Pushing thing. And I mean, to be in Jazz Cafe and that for the launch party, it's amazing. And to see the outcome as well. Because I mean, it's always nerve-wracking when you kind of have, I mean, Randy's not a brand new act, but he's more international act as far as I'm aware. So to have a great success and a great turnout in the UK, to me it's a wonderful achievement. You know what I mean? And for the people them to stay throughout the show and appreciate the music, that's also wonderful, because you see some concerts where people leave out halfway, but they took in Randy's set, they took in Cali P set, General Levy's set, Joe Ariwa set, my Professor set, all the big up all the DJs, you know what I mean? It's a wonderful experience.
Mikey, Majestic, Inner Gold Show, IGI, I'm here with a man who really, it feels like a boxing match, because the way we've come into it now, we've come in from the stage where now he was obviously about to release the EP. We talked about the EP, you released the EP, that coming like the weigh-in. Now you come and you done the performance, and I can say, I'm the new champion of Camden, London town. Man like Randy Valentine,
respect, man, blessed love still.
So, what a turnout tonight, first and foremostly.
Nice, still, enough people there, enough smile there.
How did it feel to come out and just see the place full of, as you said, smiling faces?
You see, it's just confirmed for me that, love is real, and the love did it. People came through, a lot of faces that I haven't even seen in years showed up. And even just sitting in the next room myself, all I could hear most people in here talking is like, yo, a long time when I see you, yo, a long time when I see you, yo, a long time when I see you. So you have to know that this event created that kind of reunion for most people to come back and just link up again and say, oh, go on. It's nice that happened. So that alone, I'll have to even give thanks for.
And there's, like you say, a lot of different people come out, you know, to support you. First of all, I have to big up your dad, because that suit there was sharp for number one. For number two, I see him above. Performing just like my son. So how does it feel as well to know that your family, that I've seen you from nothing, and as you said, Dad said to you, don't give up, and you're still here pushing. So how does it feel to still be pushing with your family alongside you?
Yo, that's the greatest strength ever. That's the greatest strength ever, to know that you have your support from your immediate family. Your brethren, that's love. That's my standard routine. I mean, enough people with all them now, family support. I mean, enough people say, yo, my family and the rest family. Most people can't say they hear that. They hear enough people say, yo, you know, your trouble is very, but my yard is the worst. Everybody think my yard are the worst.
It's true.
I get support from my family to the fullest. And I respect that. You know?
And it wasn't just like family, there was fans there. And to be honest, there's a lot of other artists there. And we were speaking on the show about the UK scene and the unity and the strength, and like you said, just by you performing, it's brought enough different ones together.
Just link up, enough different ways. DJ, this I link. I say, yo, rare. I've never seen like 4 or 5. Some of the main DJs that I remember before you dropped the mixtape. Well, you're trying so hard to reach, and then one night you have 4 or 5 of them in one place. That's blessing, and they all here came here just to show support and love. To show you the greatness of the music that we're doing, you know? Joey, big up yourself.
Big up Joe each and every time. So when you came to the studio and we met you, the focus on that time was the EP.
Yeah, man.
Still pushing the EPs out. And now it was all about this event now. So you've been pushing that. So even how does it feel now to know that you've been working towards this so long and now it's kind of done, it's in the universe, it's out of the way?
Summer feel. You know, like, you take a needle and just push it like tire. Yeah. But the work continues, you know. The work continues, because the more we do, the more we have to do. And I'm grateful. I'm surrounded by people who are patient with the fact that we have to put in so much time and effort into what we do to get it to where it needs to go. People see that, but they're still willing to stay or show love and give as much love and support that they can towards this thing, you know. So get up again tomorrow morning, chill, pushing things, continue every day.
You are listening to Bang Drive Time. Your girl Amanda Starr in the building. The time is now 31 minutes past the hour of 5, and I am excited. Like, I'm so excited because I've got a very special person sitting in front of me. Not only that, I'm joined by Heartical ID and Mikee and Majestic in the building. Make some noise. Alright, so our guest, we're very lucky to have him here, as he's come over from Jamaica but is flying on Friday, so we are blessed to have him in the studio. He goes by the name of Nature. How are you doing?
Yeah.
Was that a good intro?
Yeah, it was good. Great. It was. Yeah, it's a joy to be here, you know.
Yeah.
In the most I work, as I always say, you know, because it's the most I, you know, who are sent and I, you know.
Yes.
We are doing this wonderful music called reggae and all these good things, you know, spreading a positive message. So we are here in the UK to do the same.
Okay, fantastic. So, Mikee.
Yes.
You've got some questions for our guests.
I have, you know, and it's where to begin, you know. First of all, it's an honour to meet the eye and to be sitting side by side with the eye. Same. I see you've made, like, you know, you haven't just suddenly become Nature the artist. There's been a journey for you to get to where you are today. Now, you've given up a lot from what I've seen in my research, including your job, to get to where you are today. So could you touch on that journey for us?
Yes, well, you know, ever since I was 9 years old, I took part in a concert that was held at my school, at Glendon College. I was 9 years old, and the reception I got at 9 years old performing at that concert, I realized that, okay, this is my calling. Since I was 9, you know. And then there was a sound system in my community called Black Arrows up there in Glendon, Montego Bay. and I got a chance to have the mic at one evening, and when I started to sing, it's like the audience that was there is like it was off the chain. So at that moment I realized, and the whole community started to say, yo, this you can sing, man, right. So since I was 9 years old, I realized that this is my thing. But what happened in 2002, I won a scholarship in singing and writing.
Go on.
And so that's when I really decided that, okay, this is my thing. But I'm from a humble family, so at that point I got to have a job. I had a job, and I had to choose between the job and the music at the time, But what I did, the most I said, listen, I call you, so go forward and do the work. So I took a bus from Mobile, went to Kingston. I did not know where I was going to sleep,
Yes, sir.
But I went because the most I said, yo, go forward. So I went to Kingston and, put in a whole heap of work, At first I got hooked up with King's Jammies. I learned a lot of things there. I went by Freddie McGregor. You know what I mean? And I learned a lot of things from these elders. You know what I'm saying? Then Ricardo Baby Gardner, who plays for the Bolton Wanderers.
Legend.
Heart of Love production is a production. Big respect to Ricardo Gardner. He's the first person who actually, shot 2 music videos and actually put it out. You know what I mean? Not my first music videos, but those were the 2 videos that were put out, and these 2 songs were started to get some play and air. So big respect to Heart of Love production and Ricardo Baby Gardner for that, But right now I'm presently at Down Sound Records, and right now we have this album out, so it's not a normal thing. It's like sweat, blood and tears. You know what I mean? It's a journey, and come with a lot of work. Many people will see an artist being successful or being here or there and say, okay, wow, you can sing and you have a good talent, but that's not all. You got to sometimes sacrifice a lot, you know what I mean?
Yes.
For the most I work to get out there,
Mikey Majestic alongside Heartical ID. This is the Inner Gold Show, Bang Radio. And we have a very, very special Empress in the studio with us. Anytime I think of her, it makes you want to keep my head up. She's got a natural vibe about her. She's a winner who's trodden in Selassie's way. Greetings, Kelissa.
Yeah, well spell out.
Well, we have to study the thing, because we've been following the journey for a while. So,
True.
First things first, it's a joy to actually have you in the building and to be able to catch up. Now,
I feel like this is my second home in England.
Yeah, well, Dre, big up Dre Island cameraman as well. Dre's more or less moved in. We're going to make a room for Dre in the place because he's here regular. So it is the aim to make it feel like a home away from home. And talking of home away from home, I've seen you been making yourself very comfortable in London. I've seen you going to the ends where a lot of people from around the world, they hear about places like Stonebridge and places like that, and they usually run a mile. So what's it been like going to places like Stonebridge in London that you wouldn't usually get to see when you're busy touring?
Well, it's been good. This is actually, as you say, the first time that I kind of getting to see London as it is. Normally it's just a 1-3 when I'm out. So it's a nice thing to be able to be here and to interact with the people and to just kind of look around. I haven't done as much as I should, as a tourist should really. Because we're here doing some radio promo for a new single that I'm releasing, but as I say, it's more than I normally see, so we're giving thanks,
It's true, and you can definitely hear that through the music, even on Best Love. I know you're speaking a native tongue. It hit my soul, but I felt that one there. Yeah. And then also on Rebel in Disguise, you've got the tune Africa, which really, relates to the motherland. I we do the thing, man. Alright, so you want to intro it?
Yeah, sure. Na useme nami means talk to me in Swahili. So listening.
Love, big track. I even learnt some Swahili right there. So big up for that.
Yeah,
Heartical.
Yes. And we've seen that you have a musical brother who goes by the name of Keznamdi.
Yes.
And you've done a number of tracks together, including let me try to remember off the top of my head. Gideon. Word Power Sound.
Oh wow, you got deep.
Yeah, cool.
And Live for Today. That was the most recent one.
That's more recent. And there's one more, Keep Climbing, as well.
Oh yes.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, that was on his first EP.
See it there.
Yeah,
so.
wow, we actually have released quite a few.
Yeah,
and we have a lot that we haven't released either.
Seeing. So yeah, what's it like working with?
I mean, that's just the most natural musical experience, you know. Being able to work with my brother is really a blessing. He was the first one that I really got to go into the studio with and just feel free and open to make music and to sing, to make mistakes. So yeah, it's just been a joy to work with him, and it's also so nice for me to see his musical development, you know, and to grow in it together and be each other's strength within music. So definitely a joy, and I'm really grateful for that blessing, you know, that I have a real brother, not just a musical brother like Dre Allen over here, but a real brother for trod with, you know.
Big up Dre, big up Kez Namdi. Greetings each and every one. Myself, Mikey Majestic, alongside my brother from the same mother, man like Heartical ID. This is the Inner Gold Show on your favourite station. And you know what, people? It's Black History Month. And over here in the UK, we have our own reggae history. So it's only right, really, with it being Black History Month in the UK, that we have this man in the studio who I can say is a legend. Yeah, hashtag legend for the Twitter crew. We have a legend in the studio who would be known mainly for being in one of the biggest sounds ever from the UK, Saxon sound. A man that needs no introduction really, but I'm going to give him one because he deserves it. He's a legend. Greetings, man like Tippa Irie. Well, go on, King.
Much respect, sir. It's a pleasure, and thank you for the invite. It's nice to be here. And yeah, it's always a pleasure to come and speak about the history, because it's 30 years of music, 30 years of vibe, 30 years of sound system, live shows, 30 years of traveling the world and pushing UK music, reggae music foremost. But of course, I'm here, I was born here, my parents brought me up here, so I always try to spread the vibes, what's going on here, wherever I travel around the world. So thank you very much, Mikey, for the invite. You know, bless.
Yes, King. Now we're going to explore some of that journey before we get to the current day things.
Okay.
You know, because like you say, you know, it's an interesting journey. It is Black History Month, so it's only right my generation and the younger generations, and all generations get to hear the full story. So you say you was born and raised in South London.
Yeah, South London, Brixtonian. I was actually born in Dulwich Hospital.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then obviously my parents grew up in Brixton, off of Cole Harbour Lane. You know what I mean? We grew up on East Lake Road, which is adjacent to Flaxman Road. There's a famous sports centre from Brixton called Flaxman Sports Centre.
Okay.
So, but yeah, my parents grew me up there. South London, you know what I mean, and basically everything started with my father. You know, I keep saying it, but it's the truth. You know, my dad brought me up listening to people like Dennis Brown, Bob Marley, Big Youth, Dillinger, Tapazuki,
wow.
You know, Dennis Al Capone, who actually lives in the UK now. People like them is what he grew me up on. So listening to Daddy U-Roy especially, it just gave me that love, and I just fell in love with the music. And my dad, he always used to rent the basement of our house to bands.
Okay.
To disco bands, like The Real Thing and people like that. And they basically, I used to just sit there and just watch them playing the drums, guitar, and just rehearsing basically. And just made me fall more and more in love with music. So I just started to imitate the elders, you know what I mean, from my time, and then eventually you kind of develop your own style. And one of my cousins saw that talent in me, and he said that you need to come out of the basement and you need to put your talent to the masses now. So that's what I did. I started to enter talent competitions, started to win some of them, and then Mikey, who was the cousin from Cecil from King Tubby's sound,
okay.
Which is still going today, and still, you know, Saxon played them the other day. And well, that sound, it was kind of weird for me going to that dance actually, because it was the two sounds that kind of started my career.
Formed you.
Yeah. And but anyway, yeah, I started with Tubbies. You know, in fact, before Tubbies, it was Celoid. You know, Celoid is a lovers rock sound. Okay. So there is a blues dance sound, lovers rock sound, and he kind of spotted my talent. I used to go to their dances. They never really used to like me because I used to go in there and mash up the dances, and they couldn't do what I did. You know what I mean? But anyway, I used to go there, mash up the dances, and then he said, "Tip, we want to record you." You know, so that's when I made my first record when I was 17. A tune called "The Opposite." You know, which was on the B-side of a tune called My Valentine, which was produced by Drummy Zeb from Aswad. You know what I mean?
Big up.
Yeah, so who's from them ends, yeah. You know?
Big
so,
up Northwest.
Yes, after Northwest, you know? Yeah. But yeah, so that's how the music, the recording kind of started to happen. Then I did some live recordings with them, DSYC 1, 2, and 3. We basically were just, you know, MCs like Ricky Rankin, Lorna G, Champion, Lefty, all these guys. You probably, I don't know, maybe you might have heard of them or might have not, but they're some old schools DJs from South London. Yeah. But, and then you had Papa Levi and others that we made this live recording, and he just released them basically. But you know, I just carried on really, and then from Sir Lloyd it kind of went to Tubbies, and made my name on Tubbies, just served my apprenticeship on King Tubbies, you know, on the sound systems, on the sound system, carrying boxes, riding in the back of the sound van, all the way to country, you know what I mean, and back, and sleep, and back again, and that's how we used to do it as a youth. It's like serving your apprenticeship around the sound, and then once the sound was strung up, then you get the opportunity to go on the mic. Yeah. So that's how it happened for me, and then it just pursued and continued, and I just continued starting to get popular in the area, and then I won another competition, and Dennis Rowe and Musled from Saxon, they were there, you know what I mean? So Musled used to beg everybody to come and sing on his sound. You know what I mean? So I was no different, you know, he called me. So I used to go down there, and then I met Maxi Priest down there, Daddy Colonel, Papa Levi, a brother called Ruben, Peter King, who's the Fast Style originator, he was there, you know, and me and Daddy Rusty, we came from Brixton, so Rusty was my school friend, and we were close, so I brought him with me down to Saxon, you know what I mean? There was a big uproar at the time, because none of the Brixton people wanted me to go to Lewisham. They wanted me to stay on the Brixton sound, you know what I mean? So at the time it was a little controversy going, because I didn't want their gem to go to Lewisham.
Sounds, you know what I mean? Football.
Yeah, exactly. They didn't want me to transfer to Saxon, you know what I mean? But for me, it was simple economics, if that's the right word. Tubbies was paying me £3, Saxon was paying me 10. Yeah? So it was weighing that way towards Saxon, and then moreover as an entertainer, you know what I mean, I just wanted to get myself out there because I was young. I was 18 and 19. I just wanted to get myself out there, so any platform what I could use to get my name out there and to get myself out there as an entertainer, so that bigger labels would become interested in me, that's what I did.
In a gold international, where you say, hey.